So today we're going to do a vanilla sponge roll. This is a recipe from NYT Cooking. So we're going to try the recipe. I've tried to use my mocha chiffon cake for a sponge roll, but it doesn't work. It always collapses. So I'm gonna try a different recipe and we'll see if this will work. So I've got 4 large eggs here. These are in room temperature. 4 large eggs separated, and we're going to do it exactly as how they do it online. So with this egg yolk here, the egg whites that we have here, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and then I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, and then we're going to add half of our sugar. So normally when I make my cake, I always start with the egg yolk and then I'll proceed with the egg whites. But when I watched the NYT cooking video, it was actually a good technique because I don't have to wash my war whisk when I have to do the egg white. So I'm just going to put the others aside and then we'll start beating this. So we're just gonna beat this until stiff peak. And we're gonna start with a low speed. And then we will increase this until we reach medium speed. It's holding its shape, but it's still drooping. So we're going to still continue beating this. So see, look at that. It's now holding its shape and it's got that stiff peak there. So we're going to stop here now. And then without cleaning the war whisk, we're just going to put that aside. And then we're going to start doing the egg yolk. So we're going to add the rest of the sugar. And then we'll start beating this. We will just continue beating this until it turns pale yellow. continue beating this until we get, so it's already turning pale yellow, and then we will wait until we get that ribbon stage. How it sits on top before it melts away. So that's what we want. Okay, so now we're going to add our oil. So now we're going to add our flour. Okay, we're just gonna add half of this one first, and then we'll add the rest of it. So while I'm doing all of this, I'm already preheating my oven. Okay, we're just gonna add 2 teaspoons of the vanilla extract as well. This is a basic sponge roll. So if you want a different flavor, if you want to make coffee, you just add coffee to this instead of the vanilla extract. Then let's add the rest. So not to get any of that what we had earlier, we had like a dust of flour. Just wet some of it first like that, and then start again. See? Now we don't have a dust of flour flying around while we are mixing this. So we just wanna completely mix them until we don't see the flour anymore. Now don't worry about the sides because we're going to still beat that. Okay, so just get rid of that. I'm going to transfer now to my spatula. I always use a paper towel to wipe if there's any excess. So just going to mix mix that. Make sure that all my flour are in there. So that's 85 grams of cake flour and 100 grams of sugar. And then for the oil, that's 50 grams of vegetable oil. But if you want to use olive oil, you can also use olive oil. Now at this point, if you forgot to put your vanilla, you can add that here as well. Okay, so if you can see, this is very heavy. If I put this straight to my egg whites, it's going to deflate my egg whites. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of our egg white. Just gonna get a little bit of that and transfer it here. Okay, so this will make this mixture a little bit lighter. I've never used salt before in any of my recipe. This is the first time that I've actually used it for my egg whites, and yeah, it's not bad. I can tell the difference when I was doing it with just the cream of tartar. So I'm just going to combine that, make sure that everything is well combined. So what we're doing now is we're just folding it in. Okay, so other people, they will transfer this to their egg whites. Okay, so I still have a little bit of that flour. There's probably from my bowl. And then now, I don't want to put that in there. I just want to put my egg whites in here. So maybe just half of what we have in the bowl, because it's easier for me to mix it that way. So whatever is comfortable for you, just make sure that you don't deflate your egg whites. Okay, so you just fold it like that. So just fold it like so. Make sure that you have, mix everything well together. And now we're going to get our pan. So I'm going to use a jelly roll pan. This is what we're going to use for today. Just remove that. So I've lined this one underneath the liner. I just brushed it with a little bit of oil, and then I put the liner on top. And I'm just gonna pour the butter in. And now using our spatula, we're just going to spread this. So we did not brush the sides of the pan because we want this to stick to the side, and then that will help it to rise. Okay, so hopefully I have enough butter. I just want to spread the butter. Just want to turn it, make sure that they are equal. Like, see, this one is too thick here. And then the rest has got really thin. So we're just gonna get that. I really like the butter because it's very thick. That's how I like it. Like, you can already tell that it's going to work. Now just give it a big, just to take all those bubbles out. Okay, I'm just shaking it just so I know that, you know, they are level. Okay, so I've got the preheated oven there. It was running for 30 minutes, and now we're going to put this in for 35 minutes. Okay. So after 30 minutes, we now have our sponge cake. So I've just inverted it on a cooling rack and let it cool completely. And then after that, I've just inverted it back, and I'm just going to clean the edges by cutting a little bit on the sides. So now that we've cleaned the edges, we're just going to remove the paper at the back of the sponge, but we're still going to use this lining paper to roll our sponge. So now that we're done with our sponge roll, I'm going to show you now how I make my Swiss meringue mocha buttercream. So I've got a double boiler set up here. I just put a bowl with egg whites and sugar, and then using the handheld mixer, I'm just using it, not turning it on, but I'm just using it to whisk the egg whites and the sugar. So I'm just making sure that I'm not cooking the egg whites because this can be really hot. So you'll know that you're done once the sugar has dissolved. What I do is I use my fingers to feel if there are still any granules that, you know, when I touch it, if I can still feel granules of sugar there, that means I still have to continue. And the temperature of the egg white is room temperature. So once you've reached that, you just remove it from heat, and then you start whisking it until it's cool enough that you can start adding your butter. That aside. Okay, I'm just gonna wait until it cools down a little bit before I add my butter. Now that it has cooled down a little bit, I'm gonna start adding my butter. Because it's still a little bit warm, so it's also helping my butter to melt. So this is just a mixture of cocoa powder, coffee, and water. So I'm just adding it slowly into our icing mixture. You can see that Okay, so now that we have our icing ready, we're just going to ice this sponge cake, and then we're going to roll it like so. Not just using a comb scraper, you just comb the sides. if you, because that's what I use just to just an added, you know, decoration or design to my sponge roll. But it's really up to you now on how you want to decorate your sponge roll. So I'm just going to use a piping bag. It's a small piping bag with a star icing tip. And I'm just going to add a rosette on top of my sponge roll. You can also do shell borders on the side. It's really up to you how you're going to do it. And then I don't have any serving plate, a long serving plate that will fit this sponge roll. So I've decided to just put it on a baking tray, which works really well that I was able to ice it. I'll just put this in the fridge, let it cool for a little bit, and then we'll serve it. Go.
I don't like that you're so far away, though. I'm just kind of testing it out. I don't even know if I'm really going to see
Not bad.
I was here. That was like
Thank
I feel like
you.
we need to get you.
You're welcome. So there you go, guys. That's the vanilla sponge roll that we got from NYT Cooking, and also my mocha icing recipe. Now just be careful with the salt that I've added in the sponge roll, because I didn't realize that she added water as well. But you can just omit the salt, and because I was able to do this without the salt, and it also worked out just fine. So you can just omit the salt, because when I tasted it, it was a bit salty. So just remove that, or you can just add half a teaspoon of the salt. But other than that, it's all perfect. I really love the texture of the sponge roll, and it goes really well with my mocha icing recipe. So hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you do, please consider hitting that like button there. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please click that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time we post a new video. Until next time, guys, see you, stay safe, and God bless. Bye.